Hi, Genki Call here with your campaign tasks, the events for the week, and Suncrest. So let's start with the campaign tasks. I just closed it. Ha 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 ha. Here we go. Here is the campaign. And as far as it goes, the campaign tasks, thank you very much to Hawks and Gary. For gold, explore Suncrest 4 times at difficulty 2+ and use a shield weapon for 15 wins. For silver, complete 2 treasure hunts with 60+ turns, win 5 battles in a single arena run, complete 2 adventure boards, and win 3 dungeon battles. For bronze, open 2 event chests, use a Suncrest team for 3 wins, earn 4 glory in battle, kill Zilopochtli 1 time, get 7 Strix kills, that'll be easy, get 10 purple kills, use the Talon banner, of course from Suncrest, for 3 wins, use the Stormcaller class for 3 wins, match 60 yellow gems in battle, and craft 1 yellow summoning stone. Alright, next up, so let's go ahead and go into Suncrest and I will talk to you about what you can get with your event keys this week. And let's sort this by base rarity, show all. And, we've got some good stuff in here. You will not be able to get Rubawrath. You also will not be able to get the troops from Stonesong Eerie. That is the delve. You have to use your Chaos Shards for those. So no Queen Sochi, no Harpy Mage, no Blade Wing, and no... Where is it? Uh-oh. I've lost it. I've lost my mind. Where are you? Seriously, where did it go? Well, there's one more here. Alright. So, if it says Stonesong Eerie, you won't be able to get it. Also, you will not be able to get the Sun. This is a tarot card only available by using your vault keys to get that. Everything else you see here is available in the drop table for the campaign, event keys. You can see I don't have Zilopochtli yet, but I do have Phoenicia. This is worth burning every event key you have to get. Phoenicia, if you're lower level, it's not going to be as useful right now, but as your magic increases, she is one of the most useful troops in the game because she is something that you can use every single day on the adventure board. You can use her for E12s, all kinds of things. She does damage to all enemies boosted by red gems and burning enemies, and if there's a firestorm, she deals double damage. That includes the boost from the red gems and if the enemies are on fire. So, also, she's immune to fire herself. She gets 1 magic for each red ally, and there's a 50% chance to burn a random enemy at the start of the turn. Run her with Magma Dragon. It's fantastic. I will put a thumbnail at the end of this video for my Mythic Spotlight on Phoenicia and also my favorite Phoenicia team to use every day for everything. Quetzalma. Quetzalma is not used as much, but it's still useful because it can loop really nicely with the right setup. So scatter damage boosted by a chosen gem color except for yellow, then create 10 yellow gems and remove all the gems of the chosen color. So yeah, it can loop because of the creation of the gems, and that is always preferred if you can loop. Also summons a light storm at the start of battle, so if you're not using Stormcaller class, you can still get the light storm. And 20% chance to resurrect myself with full mana when I die. So, that's nice. You will not be able to get Rubawrath. That is dungeon only. Then we have Zilopochtli. He does damage to an enemy boosted by purple gems. If there's a storm, deal double damage, and if the enemy dies, create 12 skulls. Now, I can't really say anything about this mythic since I don't own it, but it is the general consensus that he's not really a good mythic. Still, worth burning all of your keys just to get Phoenicia. He does do Deathmark when he does skull damage, but doesn't have any skull damage reduction. He is undying and does 12 damage to a random enemy every time you match yellow gems. So that's cool, except he doesn't use yellow. And he's very purple based, so not sure what that's about, but hey. Next up, we have the legendaries. We have Garuda. It summons a firestorm, does damage to all enemies, gains 1 magic boosted by red gems. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, so if you have 9 on the 9 on the board, you'll get an extra 3 magic. Double skull damage versus Naga, some immunities, and allied Strix get some extra life and attack. Next up, High Priestess Chazka. I love this troop. She is the only troop in the game at the moment that conjures a light storm at the start of every single turn. So you can have a persistent light storm without having Stormcaller class now, without even having your hero with you. So you can have a light storm all the time without your hero, and that's pretty cool. Anyway, she does damage to all enemies boosted by yellow gems and blesses all allies. The bless is pretty nice. I should use her for Guild Wars. Anyway, and all allies get 2 random skill points at the beginning of battle. Love Queen Sochi, but not in the drop table for event keys. Next we have Taloka, who does some scatter damage. If there's a storm, deal triple damage, which is pretty nice, except it still doesn't amount to as much as you would think, even with the triple damage. He does deal damage to a random enemy on 4+ gem matches, and that's a plus, but overall, he just isn't as powerful as I personally would like. Can't get these two. Next is Ishel. She does damage to an enemy. She is a siege breaker. That means that she does this 3 to 5 times damage with skulls if she is traded. And regardless, with her spell, she will do that 3 to 5 times damage to towers, including Leona's tower. And she creates a light storm. She also has a 20% chance to dodge skull damage. Metzli is next. He summons a dark storm when an enemy dies and at the start of battle. He's undying. He drains all mana from an enemy, and if there's a storm, he death marks them. Then conjures a dark storm. So dark storm, dark storm, dark storm. That's basically all he's useful for, is making sure that you have a dark storm. Hopefully, but maybe not. Havos Dawnwind does damage. This one is our Godslayer. This is the one to avoid or kill first if you're using any boss, including Rubarath. Anything with a red border, whether that's Zul'Goth or Enraged Kurandara, whatever it may be, this thing's going to do 3 to 5 times damage, just like the Siege Breaker, but for bosses. Next up is Prince Azkila. Prince Azkila does summons a light storm, does damage to one enemy, and if they die, all allies gain 5 attack. He does have skull damage reduction, which is nice, and again, these birds really don't like snakes. Double damage versus Naga. Storm Singer transforms any color you want to blue and summons a random storm. He has a mana shield, so he can't be drained by, for instance, the new spirit gems, or anything. Unless he's cursed, in which case he could be. Next up is Striget. He does scatter damage boosted by yellow gems. Every yellow gem is an additional 3 points of damage. He also conjures a light storm. He does have a little skull damage reduction and gains some extra magic for each yellow ally. Just 1. So you can have, at most, an additional 4 damage on here. For that, then we have Swanmei. Now, I love Swanmei, and I hate Swanmei. She has beautiful artwork. She gives 3 mana to all other allies for each lycanthropy gem on the board. Then converts yellow gems to skulls. Now, I love the yellow gem to skulls. I hate lycanthropy. And she creates them. No, 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 no. Well, if you like, lycanthropy, you want to use her in Guild Wars or something, that's cool, but I hate lycanthropy. Anyway, next up is Tezka. You will have this troop if you have done the storyline at Suncrest. She gives life and attack to an ally, cleanses them, and if they use red mana, gives them 3 magic, so increases this purple number on their card every time if they have a purple number on their card. Double damage versus Strix, because, she's a bunny and she doesn't like the Strix. If you remember the storyline, she really does not like the Strix, because they're arrogant, and gains 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. Next is Totek. He gains armor and barriers himself, and if a storm is active barrier all other allies. This could be extremely useful as a tank. You stick him at the front of the line, he gets a barrier. You're going to be running with a storm, generally speaking, if you're using Strix. If you're using Stormcaller, you will absolutely have one, mostly. Uh, you know, barriers, everything. It's going to be very, very much of a pain to fight if he gets mana. He also summons a light storm at the start of battle, so if you're not running with Stormcaller, you'll have that. And spell and skull damage reduction. La la la. Next up is the Harpy Eagle. If you've done if you have done explorers here in Suncrest, you know what a pain this darn thing is to fight, because it destroys a column, does damage to the last enemy, boosted by yellow gems, and then pulls them to the front and messes up the order of your team. I hate that. I hate having that done. Meh. And is empowered. Now, it's partly empowered. 75% mana starting off. Also, if she's at the front of the team, she's going to place a hunter's mark on enemies when she does skull damage, and that is very powerful. Also has a chance to dodge skull damage, so she's actually pretty good to stick up at the front of the team. Next up, we have the Jaguar Warrior. He does damage to an enemy. If the enemy dies, he heals back to full health and gains attack. He has a chance to dodge skull damage, and, you know, I've seen some legendaries that aren't as good at that. I love that he fills completely back up if they die, but you know, you got to get him close to dying, and that's a mechanic most people don't want to deal with. They don't want to wait for the other team to get that low before casting, so you know, it's kind of iffy. Lyriath is a bit of a pain. She gives 44 life, or sorry, she gives life and life and magic to all yellow allies, and there's a 35% chance to summon a copy of the first enemy. That could be really good for your team and really a pain if it's on the other team. Summons a light storm at the start of battle. Bonus yellow mana from yellow gem matches. That extra yellow mana is the air link. I mean, the links are very useful. So you match 3 and you actually get 4. Ostrix. Destroys a column, gives 42, oh, sorry, I keep saying that, it's your magic +1, gives armor to all allies, boosted by yellow gems destroyed, and if an ally is a mystic, also give them 3 magic. This is, you know, I forget some of these things are actually very useful, and they don't have to be legendaries or even epics to be useful. She also has a chance to create a wish gem at the beginning of the turn and gains a magic when an ally casts a spell. Stormcrow is brand new. We'll find him in the shop, and I will take you there in a little bit. He does damage to an enemy and gets reflect. He summons a dark storm when an enemy dies, which will feed back into himself. He also summons one at the start of battle, and all enemies lose 2 random skill points at the start of battle as well. Sunbird. Sunbird can be really good for soul farming with the right team. It's very old school at this point and not generally used anymore. Use it with some fire bombs. It does scatter damage boosted by his life with a 1-to-1 ratio. So, you know, 181 scatter damage. On a low level, it is going to just decimate the enemy team. And then dies and rises from the ashes. It's not quite as powerful when it comes back, and it won't have its armor. But, yeah. Plus it summons a firestorm when an ally dies. Well, we don't ever want our allies to die, but, you know, if you're using the firebomb team and just doing a quick explorer for souls, works great. Next up, we have Sylph. Scatter damage equal to my attack boosted by brown enemies. If you have 4 brown enemies, that's an extra 40 damage plus her attack. It's still not going to add up to a lot, but you do start with 50% mana. Next is the Wind Archer. He does true damage to an enemy, destroys 5 gems of that troop's mana color. That's taking them off the board as if they were matched. Summons a light storm when an ally dies, and when an enemy dies, and has a chance to dodge skull damage. Let's see, we're getting towards the end. Finally, one more you will not be able to get with your keys. And here's the last one you won't be able to get from Stone Song area. I couldn't see it for some reason, but you will not be able to get these 2 either. Anyway, Eagle Owl destroys a column, deals damage to the first enemy boosted by blue gems destroyed. You can get, +1 damage for each blue gem destroyed. It does start with 50% mana, but it also has a 50% chance to do true damage with skulls, which is very interesting for a lower level thing like this. It's a bounty hunter. I personally would never use this in bounty, but you know, can't get. Heronath summons a leaf storm, which feeds back into herself. All allies gain armor boosted by ally Strix, an additional 4 armor for each Strix on your team, including herself. Yeah, she can be a pain on the final level of pet rescues, which is why I use true damage on those pet rescues. But, she could be very useful, especially if you're lower level, because it is to all allies, and she's low rarity. She's just a rare. Anyway, +1 magic for each yellow ally and these other things. Owleth, this is another one that creates a dark storm and decreases a random skill on all enemies by half mana, basically. Half mana -2. He does gain 1 magic for each purple ally. All enemies lose 2 random skill points at the start of battle. And finally, the Chupacabra. He deals damage to an enemy. If they're beast, deal double damage, and there's a 10% chance to devour them. This can be really useful in arena, but besides that, unless you're, fighting beasts, not that useful, but he does also do double skull damage versus beasts, and he's stealthy. Of course, if you have him at the front of the team, he's going to get hit with skulls, but still. Anyway, that is it for that part, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I am back. Let's head into the shop and we can go over. Actually, no, wait. One of our tasks is to open event chests. I am missing Zero Pochly, so I'm going to burn all 57. I used up all of my keys last week trying to get Wolfgaric, and Yes, trying to get that, and didn't get it, so I only have 57 event keys, but we're going to burn them all. In hopes that I can get the 1 card I don't have. The chances are very low, but we're going to do it anyway, because it's fun! Nope. I got 2 Toloka, but hey, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. It's all the RNG. So, it was worth a try, but I'm sure that I got some of the new troop, which is under weekly event. But before that, resources, spoils of war. Get all 10 of these if you can. There's a limit of 10. You get 10 event keys. It's a fantastic deal for event keys. I could use those too. Let's see if I can get lucky with my 10 keys. Let's go do that. I mean, my eldest has done it. She got 10 keys and she used them and she got a mythic, so it is possible. Boop. Come on. For the video. Click. No. Oh, well. Got lots of trait stones. Alright, let's head back into the shop. Go into weekly event, and the Storm Crow is here. We went over what it does already. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot, except the Dark Storm. But you do get these Arcane Skull trait stones and the Minor Magic trait stones. Very, very useful. I will get this up to mythic level, like so, because that is 1 more level 20 troop for me that I need for my power level. So I do recommend doing that as soon as you have the ability to start doing this every week to get those troops to mythic levels so that you will have them for your power levels, because the higher your power levels, the stronger your troops are going to be. So let's see, next up we have events. Let's see what's in here. Is there anything we need to know? Yes, Rathamon is still in the drop table. It's the only mythic in the drop table at all, except for your event keys. So, if you already have him, don't use any keys until Friday. If you don't have him yet, you still have a chance. And then Suncrest troops and Strix troops get plus 10% to their skills. If it's a Strix from Suncrest, of course, it's plus 20%. And then if you use the new troop in PvP, or Explorer, you get an extra 400 gold. All right, lastly, let's head in here and talk about what else we've got going on this week. So, on Tuesday, tomorrow, we have Stormsong Eerie, the faction assault where Queen Sochi is. Love Queen Sochi, she's great. Harpy Mage is also very good. Wednesday, we have the Mini Moa Pet Rescue. On Thursday, we have the Stormcaller class trial. And then this weekend, we have Bounty. But wait. But wait. Kafka also said that there is a vault event this weekend. So, Bounty replaced or Bounty and Vault weekend? I don't know, but I do know that Kafka said on the forum that we were going to have a Vault event this weekend. So, let's hope that's true. We'll see about the bounty. I don't know, but we're all going to find out together on Friday. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will be back with Soulforge and also with teams for the World event. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye!